It's the Sunday Morning Brew with Maddie and Elle.
And just like that, it's 10 a.m.
Morning, guys.
When the hell did that happen?
Oh
Good morning.
Ugh.
Elle, how we feeling?
I'm here. Guys, I don't even have coffee today. That's
What a rookie mistake, dude.
I did not have time. It was like wash my hair, which was absolutely necessary, or make a coffee. That's where my morning was.
It was
today.
wash the hair or coffee. Okay, I totally get that. Well, I chose coffee, clearly. I chose coffee. But that's all right. Solid weekend, and we are here. Welcome to the Brew. Maddie and Elle here. Big shout out to Wow Wipes, workout wipes for women. Y'all are fantastic. I've been using it after the gym, and it's a nice thick. It's like it's a very nice material.
It's almost like a cloth.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Biodegradable cloth is
right,
how it feels.
Right, and it's jam packed with hyaluronic acid, and it's just like it's so much better than throwing water on your face after the gym. So perfect addition to a workout routine. If you go to Wow Wipes, their website, you're gonna get 50% off your first order. So that's a solid deal right there. So find Wow Wipes online, grab those 50% off. We love you. And here comes my dog. But last night, UFC craziness. But before we get to that, how was your weekend, Elle?
That was pretty much the story. You know, I went to the gym yesterday, got a little workout in, did some filming for Live Trained.
Oh,
you guys
very nice.
That out yet? Live Trained is putting out all sorts of content, combat sports online classes, and also a lot of awesome behind the scenes content with myself at ATT. So we had a lot of fun filming some stuff for Live Train yesterday, did a little bit of training, came home, enjoyed an early card that had me in bed at like 11 p.m. Love
Isn't
that.
The best?
Love that for us.
I feel like both of us all are team early card. We are team early card, team afternoon card to be specific.
Oh yeah. No, a 3 o'clock prelim is
let's go. Let's fucking go. I had a jam-packed weekend. We had what's up, Dave, up in the chat already. Dave, get out. This is our show.
Dave's always watching.
I know.
Always.
He's the best.
He's like Roz from Monsters Inc. Always watching.
So yeah, I had it's called St. Mary's Feast. It's a big Italian feast, big Italian population in Rhode Island, if you didn't know. I am one of them. I'm not yelling. I'm just Italian.
Explains so much. To be honest.
Whatever. Listen. I'm Italian. We talk with our hands. We talk loud. We get excited. And there was hundreds and hundreds of us together Friday night at St. Mary's Feast. It was fantastic. Last night, I went to Nas. Do you know who Nas is? You don't know who Nas is?
I know nothing.
You don't know the rapper Nas?
I don't listen to that much rap, to be honest.
God. Well,
I'm very behind on pop culture, Maddie.
Well, to be fair, he was very popular in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay. That's right.
But it was him paired with an orchestra. So it was quite the experience. It was very, very cool. But I had to do a little catch up this morning with the UFC card. A lot of awesome moments though, from what I saw. So my dog is biting my toes. What was one of your favorite moments? I got a couple.
Man, I honestly just want to pull up the card and kind of go through the card here because
you were like rallying off hot takes last night. You better share all of them.
I'm like, guys, like this was actually a killer card, and I definitely am one of the people who was kind of like crappy about this card.
I'm right there with you. I was kind of like whatever about it, and then
there
was a lot of finishes.
Dude, Kurt Hollabaugh and Krzyzewski. We got to talk Fight IQ first of all.
Yeah, so you had mentioned somebody has a terrible Fight IQ, Barboza.
Yeah, Dione Barboza.
So what was that referring to?
Just the giving up of positions, the decision to not wrestle when she should, the decision she had all this space. Like Miranda did a really good job. She always has heavy top pressure, but there was a point where Dione Barboza like kicked off and had like probably 5-6 feet of space between her and Miranda Maverick's body. And all it would have been would just be get up on that back knee, stand
stand
work
up.
the cage. I know that like it's a little bit more difficult than that when you're actually doing it, but you at least have to try in that moment. Like the decision to stay on your back when you have that much space and you're down is just so poor. And she honestly started fighting pretty well in that third round too. And I'm like, and then would get a good position, get reversed, and just it was done. Like just the choices that were made were not. They didn't go hand in hand with her skill level.
I was gonna say, do you think it's a her thing, or do you think she just didn't show up that night?
No, it's definitely a her thing. We saw it in her debut as well. Just it's honestly it's prevalent in a lot of women's MMA fights. I think if you have fight IQ, like the girls who have phenomenal fight IQ dominate these divisions. Like they absolutely dominate, because I think it's such a and it absolutely is the case in some of the men's divisions as well, but I think more so in the female divisions. Like you see girls who make really good decisions in fights. Like
and game time decisions, right? Having a good fight IQ means you're adapting.
Makes good game time decisions,
right?
Joanna Jędrzejczyk has phenomenal fight IQ. Like, it's one of those things. Weili Zhang is another example, and all these girls have been at the top of their divisions. I think Khrushchevsky had some issues with fight IQ as well in his fight with Kurt Hollabaugh. Maddie had to mute herself.
I'm like, this friggin' dog. No,
she's fine. She'll just be in the background. But yeah, I'll keep chatting with you guys for a little bit. Good morning, Chris. What is up? Dave said yes, he's always watching. But no, I think Khrushchevsky had some of the same issues in his fight as well. Like, just he would get a dominant position, and you don't give up the back, you don't give up top position for submissions that are low percentage. You maintain your position before you start going for subs. Like there's just some of these rules in MMA that some people just don't. They might even have them in the gym. They don't keep it with them in the fight.
Well, I feel like
make those decisions.
Like a lot of fighters just get so hell bent on their game plan, and even if the game plan isn't working, they're like, "Well, this is what I trained for. This is my game plan. I got to stick to the game plan." But sometimes, like live rounds, live fights, like you have to be able to adapt on command. And some fighters just lack that ability, and it's like we're seeing it at the highest level. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
And Miranda Maverick, to her credit, she made very good in-fight adjustments in that fight. You know, like she looked better each round.
And she's strong, dude.
She is strong. She's strong. She's a difficult person to fight and to outgrind. Yeah. But Barbosa she had these really great striking flurries and good shots. Like she had good moments, and it was like she just wasn't quite putting them together in the right order, if that makes sense at all.
No, it totally makes sense. It was like kind of just like a delay of like.
No, there wasn't even a delay. She made the wrong decision.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, like in reference to just like a delay and like, oh, I should have done that, or like, you know what I mean? But yeah, there was a lot of great moments. I caught up on the Durden Silva fight. Oh, wow. Such a fun fight.
Cody was dominating that.
He was looking so good. Talk about, like just crazy uppercut, crazy striking power in general. But that's why you never give up. That's why you never give up.
Yeah. No.
Like, his Silva grinded it out, and fucking crazy.
I think Cody is a more complete fighter, but
I think he showed that too.
The beautiful thing about MMA is like the more complete fighter doesn't always win the fight. And like you said, anything can happen. Like
Right. Sometimes the dog will win because they don't give up. So crazy.
What power for 125 too, and for a small flyweight in Bruno Silva, like power.
Yeah. So very dangerous. I think I wanted to comment on something DC said, because I mean, you are a member of ATT, and he said something along the lines of, they're probably training close together. And he was like, is he really your teammate? They can't all be teammates at ATT. And I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I mean, guys from ATT don't fight each other that often. It happens more at ATT than most other gyms because we have more guys. Like, we just have more guys. I don't want to ignore. Guys, we will get to Jake Paul.
Oh yeah, I was hanging on that one.
Worry.
Oh yeah, I was hanging on that one.
We will
I'm
get
sure
there.
Cage Side with Chris has that covered for you this week, but we're gonna touch on it today too. So
but yeah, I lost my train of thought. Oh, ATT. So
yes.
I think it happens more at ATT than other gyms just because we have so many guys.
Right.
You can leave them in here. It's fine. We have a ton of guys. We have a ton of lightweights. We actually have a decent amount of flyweights. Very few gyms have more than one, maybe two flyweights, and rarely are they in the same organization because there aren't that many flyweights. But we have a lot. We
all
have
of them.
He's retired now, but Jussier Formiga was in Bruno Silva's corner. He was at ATT when he was active in the UFC. So it's, man, there's so many guys there. I think they do a really good job of separating things, like keeping sparring separate. They'll wrap the cage. It's a very professional environment.
They'll wrap the cage.
Yeah, they'll wrap I've seen them wrap the cage for sparring sessions,
That's
so
fascinating.
If people feel more comfortable, they'll do that, or they'll come in at different times. Caesar, get out of there. I might have made a mistake. I just
we all have dog minutes right
now. But he these guys, I think you can be a teammate. I don't want to fight K-Rock, for example, like the person I train with the most. Yeah. I don't want to fight K-Rock. If it's for a world title, I'm pretty sure she and I could come to an agreement that we can fight each other for a world title.
And Grant made a similar sentiment on one of the last podcasts of listen, if it's for a belt, I'm fucking fighting you.
Take your shot. You have to take your shot. This sport is so fickle.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to be super, super financially successful in this sport. Man, you got to take your opportunities, and it might be against a teammate. Do I think that Cody Durden and Bruno Silva will be able to train together after this? Yeah, probably. And they'll probably be great training partners for each other, because they're both such talented flyweights. But yeah, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't want to fight my teammate. I think some guys can turn it off better than others. I think Cody Durden is he's a hole in the cage. I don't think that kind of stuff bothers a guy like Cody, because just his personality, the way he fights, I could tell he looks like he turns it off.
Right.
It's different for everybody. I think guys like Armand can turn it off. I don't think they struggle with that as much as some other people.
It's all about compartmentalizing, right?
It is. And I also think it's with ATT, it's such a unique gym because it is so big. And like I was saying, it's very professional. I've been at gyms that are a little bit different, that have that really tight knit, everybody's BFFs. And if you don't root for me, you suck type of thing. And I've been at ATT where there's just so many guys. It's there are guys I don't even know their name that have been there a year. I see them plenty. I have never spoken to them in my life, and funny. It's because there's so many guys there. There's so many not teams, but coaches there.
Yeah.
So I haven't worked with all the coaches, and I've been there for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So you might work with totally different coaches, totally different training partners than the person that you're fighting. It almost is you have your own team for that camp, It's
like a little ecosystem over there. It's crazy.
Yeah. And everybody is so professional about it as well. It's a very, everybody's there for the right reasons, I think.
Right.
And we have this really unique bubble there where Dan's okay, we are only pro fighters. We don't have recreational members. We have a handful of amateur fighters, and they have those guys are going to be elite. They are the few and far between.
They're not fair weather fighters. They're going for,
There's really not Instagram fighters at ATT, for example. Everybody has that goal of going as far as they can in their sport. And so it's it's different for sure. It's a different environment than I was used to before I got to ATT. But yeah, like you're saying, I think they do a good job of handling it.
Right. Guys, I promise we're going to get to this. I promise. Mike Tyson will bomb his bitch ass. Hey, maybe. But we're going to get to Jake Paul. I promise. Elle and I are all about MMA first. So let's just touch on the main event. Lemos and Jandiroba. I always say it wrong. Jandiroba.
Jandiroba, yeah. I think that sounds right.
I think it went how we probably thought it was going to go. I thought Lemos would get it done, but she didn't. And I thought Jandiroba looked great. A lot of really fun grappling exchanges, Elle.
Dude, her grappling
Such
is
high
so elite.
level.
I think she's one of those people that can legitimately pull guard and like I'm fine with it because she
right, because she's gonna do something with it.
She does such a good job of like either reworking, getting back on top, going for legs. Like it's honestly nuts to me. And I see her go for legs and I'm like, why aren't you trying to get on top? And then she makes it work for her and she scrambles when she needs to scramble. And yeah, just elite grappling. I really, really want to see her fight somebody with high level wrestling like Tatiana or
I was
Weili
just gonna
Zhang.
say that. They kept saying like, is her next fight a title shot? I would much rather see her fight Tatiana first. They were supposed to fight. It got canceled. So why not give her that fight first and see how that goes?
Yeah, I think
the
issue is I think Tatiana is expecting a title shot.
Right.
So it might not make sense. It might make more sense to just wait for the belt because they want strawweight contenders. Like they were saying, she and Tatiana are the only two girls in the top 5 that Weili Zhang hasn't already beat. So
Weili is fucking terrifying. You better come correct when you're fighting her, dude. Okay, bye. See ya.
We are
See ya.
We are number 1.
It's all good.
MMA first.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Thank you for
boxing
stopping by.
takes the backseat to MMA.
But we are so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us for sure. Thanks for popping in the comments. And even people like this, like, see you later. Bye. Either way, thank you for giving us some traction in our comment section. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I would love to see her fight Tatiana, but then again, on Tatiana's case, she's probably wanting that title fight, so that makes sense. So we'll just kind of see how that plays out. But overall, great card. I got to go watch some more of it. It was pretty fantastic. So
Steve Garcia, we have to touch on Steve Garcia.
Oh, of course. Yeah, go for it.
Steve Garcia looked freaking solid. That was another fight that Maddie picked wrong.
I know. I think I picked like one right. So it's fine.
Like Choi is really tough and he's super dangerous, but seeing the way he ran into like stuff with Mike Trezano.
Yeah, a lot of collisions.
Similar with Garcia. And man, Garcia is a stud. Like they went after it. Like it was a very short fight, obviously. But man, Garcia's tough. He's got a hell of a chin. His boxing's good. He sets up his knockouts really, really well. I honestly don't even know who I want to see him fight next. He knocked out Melky, who I love as well. Great win. Knocked out Choi, who's a very exciting fighter. I don't know who makes the most sense. Some other exciting boxer at featherweight.
Let's see here. So where is he in? Is he in the rankings?
No, he's not ranked yet. I think you could give him a top 15 guy.
I was gonna say, has he fought Dan Ige?
Maybe like a Moises, maybe like that level.
Okay.
Right outside the top 15. Or sorry, that's lightweight. I don't know why I said Moises.
Well, even like I was thinking Dan Ige because he's 14, like he's just in there, and Dan Ige loves to bang.
That's what he called out too. And Dan Ige has the boxing to make that.
I think that would be fantastic.
They could set up a different fight, and Dan Ige will take it on 3 hours' notice.
Exactly, it's fine. Can we please give Dan Ige a full camp, please? Just like that man deserves anything he wants right now. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, just give him whatever he wants. He's fantastic. But yeah, time to go get your puppy. My pup. I've been feeding my puppy treats off screen. But yeah, fantastic fight card last night. UFC Fight Nights are sleeper cards in a lot of ways sometimes, and I think this was one of them. So a lot of really, really exciting moments. But yes, Dave, she's a very hard matchmaking Monday, for sure. Yeah. I like it. Mean Machine. Is he calling you a mean machine?
No, that's Steve Garcia's name.
Oh, I was like, what is he referring to? Okay. I was like, Elle's not mean. What are you talking about? Garcia looked great. Yep. Lot of great performances last night. Anything else you want to touch upon before we talk about the lovely Jake Paul?
Doo-Ho Choi fighting once every 2 years, looking like a beast.
Let's go.
Dude, he's like He's just one of those guys. I'm like, why don't you fight more often?
I know, for real.
Good. He
For
had
real.
Fight of the Year with Jeremy Stevens. He's a UFC Hall of Famer from that fight. Like, yeah, I'd like to see more of him.
I know. Just put him in there more. Like, let's go. Let's go. He's clearly ready. He's clearly training. Fucking shows up every time, looking great. So.
2 years, like clockwork. There's Duo on the card again.
I love it. All right, guys. All right, here we go. Jake Paul, Mike Perry.
Okay.
I think we need to all come to terms with the fact that Jake Paul is no longer Jake Paul the YouTuber. He is Jake Paul the boxer. That man brought it to one of the most violent humans in the world last night. I don't know, Elle, if you saw like any Reader's Digest versions of the fight last night, but
some highlights.
But the power that Jake Paul has was very impressive. He knocked Mike Perry down several times. All right, settle down, Dave, with this one. Settle down.
Dave's trying to instigate today.
It's working. But no, I think we all just need to stop with this narrative of Jake Paul is not a fighter, because he certainly became one, and say what you want about him, but that man figured it out.
The reason MMA fighters and super fans don't like Jake Paul is because he is getting paid more for fighting at the same level as other people. Mm-hmm. That is why. Like, that is the number one reason why people are upset about Jake Paul. Like, and Grant said it best. We were all watching the fights yesterday, and one of our friends was hating on him and saying he sucks. And it's like, he really doesn't suck, guys. Like, we just don't like him. Like,
right. You just don't like it as a person.
And Grant was like, if he were not a celebrity, if he wasn't a YouTuber and he was just like a regular guy, and he made his debut in boxing, in fighting, he'd never fought before, and he made his debut against Tyrone Woodley, like, would you think the same of him? Or would people would be like,
holy shit, who is this kid?
Exactly. It's and he has crazy money. When you have really good money and you're an athlete, because Jake Paul is an athlete and he always has been, like, you can become pretty damn good at just about anything if you're bringing in the best coaches and the best training partners possible. And that's what he's been doing. And you have to commend him for it. And I think he's taken a very smart path. Yes, he's fought guys that are a little bit smaller than him. He's fought guys that are retired. He also doesn't have a combat sports background.
Right.
Like, the kid's been boxing for a few years. Like, it's honestly, if he weren't Jake Paul, we'd be impressed.
Right. 1000%. That's kind of where I was getting at. It's like, we hate him because he's Jake Paul. You know what I mean? To this point, Chris, Paul has improved, no doubt. However, he's a weight bully. He probably weighed 225, 230, where Mike weighed 121. Listen, they agreed to this fight. You know, it's like, wait, you can call anybody a weight bully, but at the end of the day, they both signed a contract and decided that they were going to fight at that weight. If, you know, Jake can balloon up to that weight, sucks for Mike Perry, but Mike Perry signed on the dotted line for that, you know? So the idea of a weight bully always, like, kind of makes me go, eh.
If you both made the weight, you're not a weight bully.
Yeah.
You're just fighting in the right weight class.
I think you can call somebody a weight bully when they actively miss weight and they're kind of hoping that you know, still take the fight, and then they blow up 20 more pounds, and then you're like, okay, you're a weight bully. But, like, I'm pretty sure they both made weight. I think he weighed in at 200 on the dot, if I'm not mistaken, Chris. I'm sure you got the data there. You're our data master. I would so we haven't even got to this part, Dave, but unreal. Shut the fuck up, Dave.
Dave wants fights.
The fuck up.
Dave wants problems.
All right, so Jake Paul decides to call out the GOAT, Alex Pereira. And not only does Alex Pereira answer the FaceTime call, he agrees to do it. And he says, yeah, let's go. Chama, let's go.
I mean, this gets rid of this criticism, right? Like,
that are small.
He's not smaller. He's not shorter, and he's not older. Like,
and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that Jake is going to be bigger than Tyson if that fight happens.
Yeah, but Tyson's 60.
But Tyson's way older. Like, you got that part. But
I don't want to see that fight. I know it's almost like a novelty at this point because Mike Tyson is such a huge name in the sport. I don't want to see a 6-year-old Tyson fight anybody. Like, I have no desire to see that fight.
The biggest red flag was his little incident in the airport a while back. Like health stuff is happening to Mike Tyson. He
needs
should
to.
not be fighting,
I agree.
And there's a piece of me that thinks it's probably not going to happen. I think we're going to have a McGregor Chandler situation on our hands.
Oh yeah, that fight's never happening.
Yeah. Speaking of McGregor, apparently firing Mike Perry from bare knuckle boxing. I don't know if he has the authority to do that.
Authority.
But he tweets out, "Hey Mike, you're released and you can go and compete in your smelly, dirty boxing championship thing. The smell of it. Good luck. You're fired." Listen, bud, I don't know if you can fire the champion. But that sucks. Like, to have McGregor back you up and then all of a sudden be like, "Nah, you're fired." So that's awkward. But I listen, Mike Perry's a dog. All right, Dave. Jeez,
dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people like, oh, Paul has a pattern of asking for naturally smaller guys. He's not anymore. Like, he's asking for Alex Pereira, and I don't know if that fight will happen or not. We'll have to see.
There's no way Dana lets that happen.
I would think so, but
yeah,
he let Conor box, and Alex Pereira has become quite the superstar for a dude who speaks almost
no English.
Like, what a G. Like, he's so funny. He's so funny. Like, this is something I wish I could explain to, like, because I have fighters that are friends of mine that, like, English is new for them. And they're, like, nervous to come on podcasts and stuff. They're like, oh, my English isn't very good. It's like, it doesn't have to be, guys. Yeah. It doesn't freaking have to be. Like,
you're charming when it's, like, not good.
And we understand. Like, I respect the fact that you speak 1.5 languages
as opposed to my
one. So it's, like, there's any international fighters out there, you don't need that much English. I promise.
Did you see the sweet video of Pereira going to hospitals?
Yeah.
And the guy, so cute. The guy asks for Pereira to shave his head, and Pereira got emotional.
I know.
Ah!
No, I agree with Dave. I think he genuinely does want that fight because it's a huge fight. And I feel like you guys have to remember too, like, why are we hating on a guy for taking smart career choices? Like,
I know.
The guy had 0 fights and fought a former UFC world champion. Like, yes, he probably should pick somebody that's a little bit smaller than him. Like, it's just smart marketing. It's literally good management, guys. We're literally mad at Jake Paul for just having good management.
So this is what I mean when I always say he figured it out. Like, there is a formula to success, and Jake Paul followed the formula. He was controversial. He worked hard. He had a good team behind him, and he said, "Fuck all of you. I'm doing it." And he fucking did it. Like his brother, same thing. Logan, figured out the formula. I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to be constantly promoting myself. It's just, hate on them all you want, but they're fucking making millions, and we're sitting here in our little bedroom apartments. So whatever.
100%. Chris, I want to ask Chris a question here. He said, remember, Dana did not allow Francis Ngannou to box, which is a great point. Francis, although did have a lot of issues working with the UFC consistently throughout his entire career, do you feel like that was part of the problem? Mm-hmm. And do you feel like Dana would let Pereira box if he was, just a little bit easier to work with and they had a better relationship? Or do you feel like this was a one-time deal with Conor McGregor?
While we wait for Chris's answer, I will say I think it has to do with Conor's status. Like, he transcends MMA. He transcends the UFC.
Did you know, just quick point, Conor McGregor has more Instagram followers than the UFC.
Well, there you go. My point has been made. But it's so true. Like, he became bigger than the company. And I think someone like Dana has to respect that and understand that, by Conor taking a boxing fight, it is also helping the UFC in certain ways. Whereas Ngannou, he's known for the UFC, but he doesn't quite have that global superstar power that he may have in his home country.
Some of the worst pay-per-view sales in UFC history.
So there you go.
Headline, So it's
but then you bring in somebody like Pereira, who is slowly becoming a Conor McGregor.
That's my point. Maybe someday, he becomes crazy scenario. Alex Pereira wins the heavyweight belt.
Woo! I'm here for it.
Still no Alex Pereira boxing at that point. Like,
oh my gosh. There's just a piece of me.
Maybe he becomes a 3-division champion, retires, and goes to boxing.
Well, and don't forget, Pereira used to box. He was a boxer at one point. So he was a boxer. He was a kickboxer. He became an MMA. So like, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility. Okay, like that's kind of cool. Alex versus Jake 2025. Here for it. I love it.
Back to Francis Ngannou real quick. I saw Francis Ngannou has said that he is in camp to fight Renan Ferreira.
Let's go.
That is announced yet, but I did see some rumors that Francis says he's back in camp. So,
all right.
In fact, because obviously he had a really horrible tragedy with his family and lost his son.
Can't even imagine.
Happy to see him back in the gym for sure. Let's see if this fight happens, because to be honest, I didn't think Ngannou was ever actually going to fight in the PFL. So
I know, for real. Mike Perry said he is interested in looking for other boxing trainers. Do you think ATD can option for his future fights?
Maybe.
Hey, I don't know.
It's not a boxing gym.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we have phenomenal boxing coaches, but if you want boxing sparring,
and you have to
want to take away from their own fight camps to spar you in boxing. Maybe Mike Perry.
And it's so important to make a point that MMA boxing is completely different from boxing. It is completely different. Like the setup, the stance.
And we have great pure boxing at ATT who transitioned well to MMA, and they do still coach a lot of active boxers. But I honestly don't know.
And I think
know where the best boxing training is. That's not my wheelhouse.
Right. And I don't think I think Perry's going to be a little preoccupied with his organization that he just announced. He's doing a new form of fighting. Did you see this?
I did not.
We do got to go soon, but we're going to touch upon this. So he's teaming up actually with the old president from Karate Combat. And they are coming out with a new organization. I'm trying to find it right here.
I'm gonna pull up.
I think it's called Dirty Boxing. Okay, it's called Dirty Boxing Championship. That's what it is.
Dirty Boxing.
It's going to be similar to the Karate Combat rule set with a couple exceptions, I believe. But Mike Perry was at every Karate Combat event there was. He loved it. He loved the pit. He was all about it. And
doing research.
Basically doing research. And then he decided to team up with the former president. So now they're coming out with their own brand. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. That should be interesting. I don't know if they're doing like a pit or what, but
that's cool.
One thing you can say about Mike Perry is he loves to fight. So
I feel like Mike Perry should just buy, what was that, Street Beefs. Mike Perry should just run and operate Street Beefs.
Dude, I would fucking watch that. I would watch that.
Street Beefs is prime YouTube if you guys have not checked it out. I just want to bring up Dave's comment. I was talking about Fajeda and Francis Ngannou fighting, and Dave, who is just so sassy today.
He's on one today.
PFL to book it in 2031.
He's on it. He's on one today.
Dave, have you had your coffee? What's happening?
Probably not. That man doesn't eat or drink ever. So go have some breakfast, Dave. Go have some breakfast, little cranky pants. So what's up next for you, Elle? Because I know you're going to be traveling soon for PFL, right?
Yes, I leave. Next week we have a really fun local press conference for PFL, because the next two PFL events are like half the card is Killcliff and ATT fighters. So all South Florida fighters. So super, super excited about doing that, being at these local press conferences, getting to talk to a bunch of my teammates. But then the week after that, I will be in Nashville for PFL on August 2nd, which is going to be so much fun. I love Nashville. So I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, Nashville's the best. I'm actually going to be there on vacation August 13th to the 18th. So that's going to be dope. But yeah, a lot of
extra weekend for PFL.
Yeah. I like that. So that's all we got for you this morning. We got to drink our coffee.
Chris has the deets on Dirty Boxing.
Of course he does.
Chris has all the deets. Guys, make sure you are watching Cage Tide with Christopher James on the
yes.
Fight Bananas platform.
$30 for an 18-foot ring. Jesus. 5-ounce gloves. No submissions. No kicks. No grappling. Ground and pound. That's what it was. So it's boxing and ground and pound.
But you can't wrestle. You just, if you drop them,
you can keep punching them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just boxing with TKOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, boxing with ground and pound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nuts. Huh. What is your division, Elle?
105 pounds, atom weight.
That is how much my left leg weighs. So that's cool.
Don't let Maddie lie to you.
Cool. Well, that's all we got. Solid show today. I need to make another cup of coffee.
I need to make my first cup of coffee.
You need to make your first cup of coffee for sure. This morning came up so fast. Oh, and elbows allowed too? I wonder if that's true.
Thank you for that, Christian. That's sick.
I wonder if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Either way.
I love that. I support that.
Oh, God. Do yourself a favor. If you love fights, watch Muay Thai fights. They are so fucking fun to watch.
I don't know why.
But fast forward to the third round because they always start off slow. So
all the fans that boo when fighters start grappling should go watch Muay Thai. I don't know why that's not your sport of choice.
Dude, it blows my mind. I mean, I could have a whole episode on this. The fact that Muay Thai and K1 kickboxing is not popular in the States blows my mind. People hate on grappling all the time, but you love MMA. Just watch striking. Watch K1. Whatever.
It's not popular, so.
God, whatever.
I don't get it.
Anyway, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Make sure you're tuning in on Tuesday to the Fight Bananas show. And then just follow all the Fight Bananas pages. We got a show almost every night of the week, okay? Cage Side with Chris. We got Boxing Bananas. We got Betting Bananas. We got our show.
Shows, Sunday Morning Brew.
So many things. This is going on Saturday. I'm sure we'll touch upon it on Tuesday for the Fight Banana show. But I got to make some more coffee. Love you all. Thank you for joining.